Ready? What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. This is Pirate Pals. I'm Mike. This is Cole.
And today we're going to talk about the 25-man roster and the predictions for the Pittsburgh Pirates 2019 season. And tomorrow's the day where the Pirates are going to start their season off in Cincinnati versus the Reds in Great American Ballpark. And in this video today, we're going to talk about our predictions for the 25-man roster and predictions for this season.
Well, yeah, the 25-man roster is pretty much almost set. There's a few question marks out there. I think what we should begin is talking about what I believe the strength of the Pirates is their
pitching.
Yes, pretty much everybody agrees upon that. Let's start with the starting rotation. Obviously, we have Jameson Taillon, who's, I think, poised for a big year. Chris Archer, Joe Musgrove, Trevor Williams, and Jordan Lyles. But right now, he may or may not be making the trip to Cincinnati. And if not, maybe we'll see possibly Nick Kingham. Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't come along, if he hits the DL, then probably Stephen Broad will remain on the roster. Well, it looks like we have a newcomer, Nick Birdie, an old face, a familiar face, Francisco Liriano.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm waiting for you.
And then are you saying Francisco Cervelli?
No, Francisco Liriano is back. And also, well, we have a lot of great setup guys. Keone Kela, Kyle Crick, Richard Rodriguez, and probably what I think to be one of the best relievers in baseball,
Felipe Vasquez.
That's right. So that is a very solid pitching staff. Let's move on to the position players. I think at catcher we have probably someone who's due to make an all-star appearance.
Francisco Cervelli, I got it right that time.
Yeah, you got it. And then also, well, Diaz is on a disabled list too, so we're probably looking at Jacob Stallings backing him up. The infield, obviously Josh Bell first, and Adam Frazier at second. Eric Gonzalez will be starting at shortstop, and Jung Ho Kang at third. Now, and backing up at the corners is Colin Moran. They are moving him, getting some time at first base. And then backing up the infield will be Newman at the middle infield positions. In the outfield, obviously right now, we got Dickerson in left and Marte in center. Right now, Lonnie Chisenhall was brought in to fill in for while Polanco is recovering from his interesting injury from last year. But poor Mr. Chisenhall got hit by a pitch this spring training, so it's looking like maybe Melky Cabrera, another veteran who was brought in, will be starting at right field. Pablo Reyes is probably going to be our super utility guy, and if Lonnie Chisenhall does go on a DL, Shuck will be joining us in the outfield. I don't see him sticking around too long because, you know, once Osuna gets healthy too, he'll be in the mix. So, but that's pretty much it. That's going to be our starting 25-man roster with a few little tweaks. We'll find out tomorrow what manager Clint Hurdle does. Okay, so moving on to predictions. So I like to play the if game. Last year I had 10 ifs for the Pirates to do really well, and they end up being 81 and 80. I think they surpassed a lot of people's expectations with that winning record, the first one in a few seasons. My ifs are for them to have a successful season are based on those corner infielders. If Jung Ho Kang could return to his form a few years back, and based on what he's done in spring training, that looks to be a great possibility. Plus, he's playing some solid D. And Josh Bell, if he can show the pop that he had in his rookie season.
Did he have 25 home runs last season?
Yes, not last season, his first season.
First season.
Yeah, last year he did not nearly have nearly as many, but I think he's poised to have a comeback here. So those are two big ifs. Also, just simply, if the rest of the team can play their potential, I think the Pirates then are in a position to win a lot more games. I think the pitching staff, as it stands, last year this team had 81 wins. With the pitching staff that we have, I think it's going to get them a couple more wins. If the corner infielders have the power that they've shown to have in the past, There'll probably be a couple more wins there, and if everybody just plays to their potential, I think we should be in good shape. Another thing I always look at is Clint Hurdle. Yes, how he manages, and that kind of breaks into two other ifs I have. If he utilizes what I believe to be the strengths of the Pirates, if those two corner infielders do not have the power that they've shown in the past, then he needs to manage this team in a way that they're going to have to manufacture runs, because we don't have a lot of power on his team. And by doing so, he's going to have to see, we're going to have to see a lot more bunting, a lot more stealing, a lot more hit and runs. So, I mean, again, we're going to have to manufacture runs, because I believe we have a bullpen that's going to give up between 3 to 4 runs. You're going to have an ERA at the end of the year about 3.5, I believe. Not just bullpen, the whole pitching staff. So you're going to, if you don't have that power, you're going to have to find ways to score a few more runs here and there and steal a few games. The other if is, Clint Hurdle is a pretty decent manager, and I always see him when I'm watching the games. There's always a game or 2 or 3 or 4 that, I'm ready to wring his neck. It seems like he makes decisions that we end up losing some games. So, again, those are my ifs. The corner infielders, the rest of the players playing their potential, and Clint Hurdle managing some good games.
I mean, again, it's not like Clint Hurdle is going to be 100% perfect every single game.
No manager is.
It's just like one or 2 times. That's fine. If you start getting 3, 4, 5, yada yada
you
yada.
make decision to lose you lose 4, 5, 6 games a year, then that's going to obviously affect where you end up in the standings. So, anyways, those are what I look at. So we'll see at the end of the year how those ifs turn out. But my prediction, or you want to do yours first? I'll let you go first.
I'll let you. Okay, thank you very much. I feel honored. I feel like our record will be 89-73. Now, I say this because, again, if a whole team plays to its potential, like my dad says, we're going to win games, and of course, Clint Hurdle and all that stuff. And also, I see Jung Ho Gung hitting 30 home runs. That can really put us ahead for power. Josh Bell hitting 25, possibly 30 home runs. If he can do that, that'll, again, win us a couple more games. And also, see Francisco Cervelli and hopefully Adam Frazier make him to the All-Star game.
I'd like to see that myself, too. Adam Frazier is just one solid player. I'm going to say 87 wins this year, and I say that because we're in such a tough division. I foresee, my prediction is the Cardinals winning 91 games, Brewers winning 88, Pirates winning 87, and getting that second wild card spot. The Cubs winning 86, and I wouldn't be surprised if even the Reds are floating around 500 balls. So you're looking at a really tough division where you got 4 teams over 500. If the Pirates can play as well as they did last year against division foes, we may even be, further along than that. But predictions, I would like to see a shot of Corey Dickerson possibly getting a batting title. I would love to see, for first time in quite a long time, maybe 2 Pirates at 30 home runs. Anything for you?
Again, like I said earlier on the video, just like to see Adam Frazier get in the All-Star game. I really think he's a great overall player. He can infield, he can hit, and just he has a belief that we can obviously make it to the playoffs again, which hopefully is the main goal for the season. Mm-hmm. And also to see Cervelli, because I really like Cervelli too. All
right, there you go. Okay. Well, what we're going to do for each installment is we're going to end the show with a trivia question. And today's trivia question is, who was the winning pitcher of Game 7 of the 1979 World Series? Please put your answer in the comment box, and no cheating. And next segment, we will give you the answer to that question at the end of the show. And, let's go Bucks. I mean, it's finally here. Hoping for a great season. Cole and I are going to catch, hopefully, maybe 10, 15 games this year. Maybe we'll do a live spot from down at PNC Park. So until then, let's go Bucks!